Welcome to Wawasan Wire. Today we're talking Sanusi's vision for Kedah's ancient heritage and its future. And, well, there's a pretty significant call for federal support that seems to have everyone talking about what our past really means for our future.
Indeed. Kedah's Menteri Besar, Datuk Seri Mohammed Sanusi MD Noor, he recently made a very direct appeal, a very impactful one actually, for substantial funding from the central government.
Okay.
He believes this funding is, well, absolutely crucial, needed to unlock the full potential of this historical site, a site he quite passionately argues is a cornerstone, maybe the cornerstone, of Southeast Asian civilization. It's a bold claim.
A very bold claim. Okay, let's really get into this. We're focusing on Sungai Batu.
Yeah.
This archaeological site in Kedah. Sanusi isn't just saying it's important locally, he's really pushing it as something globally significant.
Exactly. Not just for Malaysia, but potentially for the whole region. What's really compelling here is, first, the sheer amount of money he's asking for, and second, maybe even more importantly, the historical claims behind that request.
Right.
Sanusi has stated quite clearly, unequivocally even, that Sungai Batu dates back to 788 BC, and that this makes it the earliest known iron-smelting civilization in Southeast Asia.
788 BC. Wow.
Yeah. Now, just to grasp that, 788 BC put Sungai Batu almost 1,000 years before what we usually think of as the start of organized states around here.
That completely changes the timeline, doesn't it?
It potentially does. So he's not seeing it as just some, interesting historical find. He views it as a pivotal origin point, something that could challenge, maybe even rewrite a lot of what we assumed about early civilization and technology in this part of the world.
So when we talk about iron-smelting civilization back then, what are we looking at? Is it basic stuff or something more?
Well, from the evidence uncovered so far at Sungai Batu, it doesn't seem basic at all. It suggests remarkably sophisticated large-scale iron production. Think advanced furnaces capable of mass production.
Mass production
Yeah.
in 788 BC.
That's the implication. And that kind of industrial scale suggests, organized social structures, probably trade networks. These people had sophisticated knowledge. It points to a complex society, much more than simple hunter-gatherers. Specialized labor, maybe even widespread trade.
Okay, that really paints a picture. He calls it an invaluable heritage that should not remain dormant. That's strong language. It shows a deep belief in its potential, right? So to bring this heritage out, to really share it, he's asking for a lot of money. How much exactly?
A very specific figure, at least RM100 million, 100 million ringgit from the federal government.
RM100 million, wow.
Yeah, and he laid out why. He said this funding is essential to, quote, make this relic surface, which means proper excavation, conservation, presentation, the works. And crucially, to lift Sungai Batu from being relatively unknown to becoming an international-level tourist highlight.
And he made this request very publicly.
Oh yes, directly to the Prime Minister, Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim. It was during the closing ceremony of the Malaysia Madani Peoples Program in Kedah. So a very public stage, a very direct appeal for national attention and, well, investment.
So that 100 million isn't just for, digging holes and finding artifacts. It's a bigger vision. It's about transforming Sungai Batu into a proper global landmark, something people travel across the world to see.
Exactly. Turning this ancient site into a modern attraction.
What would that even look like to justify that kind of investment and get that international status?
Well, it would need a multifaceted approach, wouldn't it? Beyond just digging. You'd need top-notch conservation work first to protect these really old iron sites, then visitor infrastructure. Think interactive exhibits, maybe even using augmented reality to show what 788 BC was like. Proper pathways, a world-class museum or interpretive center.
Okay, I can see that.
And then, of course, a huge international marketing push.
And to kind of strengthen his case for the money, he brought up another site, didn't he, as a comparison?
He did, yeah. He pointed out that the federal government had already given RM6 million for preserving the Mount Jarai Buddhist temple site.
Right, Mount Jarai.
His point was pretty clear. If that site gets federal funds, then Sungai Batu, which he argues is just as significant, perhaps even older and more unique. Well, it also deserves crucial funding. It's an argument for, let's say, fairness in funding heritage sites, an argument that Sungai Batu's foundational importance needs similar, if not greater, support.
Okay, and here's where it gets really interesting for me. Sanusi isn't just talking about Sungai Batu by itself. He seems to be fitting this into a much bigger plan for Kedah, right? Especially with the Malaysia Year of Tourism 2026 coming up.
Absolutely. You have to connect the dots. He specifically mentioned that the Kedah state government is already busy improving tourism facilities and infrastructure across the state.
Like what sort of things?
Well, he listed several key projects. Upgrading the Kuala Kedah ferry terminal, that's the gateway to Langkawi, so crucial for visitor flow. Then there's the Northern Border Development Plan, positioning Kedah for regional tourism. Plus, enhancements at Tasik Paidu, renovating the Langkawi Prime Minister's Gallery.
So it's a whole package.
It really indicates a comprehensive strategy, getting Kedah ready for more visitors for 2026 and beyond. Basically showing they're getting all their ducks in a row.
So he's saying effectively, look, we're doing our bit, we're upsetting infrastructure, improving the experience. Now we need the federal government to come in with serious resources, especially for this crown jewel, Sungai Batu, to really make this work on a global scale.
Precisely. It's a call for partnership, a synchronized effort using Kedah's unique history and nature.
How does he actually describe Kedah, then, to appeal to both government for money and to tourists?
That's a key part of his pitch. He paints this picture of, the magnificent natural scenery, the famous rice fields, the rice bowl of Malaysia, classic Kedah. But then he layers on top this deep historical and cultural foundation. He stresses that Kedah is one of the few states that really has both major human heritage, like Sungai Batu, and these amazing natural assets.
A blend of history and nature.
Right, offering a unique, kind of complete tourism experience, is the argument.
He also had that interesting quote describing Kedah as a place where the poor can live and the rich are willing to give back. That's quite a specific way to frame the state's identity, isn't it? It goes beyond just tourism.
It does. It suggests a certain philosophy, maybe about community, social balance. And related to that, he made a point of saying, they don't practice political favoritism in Kedah. Everyone's treated equally.
An important statement in our political climate.
A very clear one, aimed at presenting an inclusive administration, welcoming everyone. He explicitly invited Malaysians and international visitors to come see Kedah Darul Aman, the abode of peace for themselves. Experience the warmth, the charm, the history.
So when you put it all together, what Sanusi's really pushing for isn't just fixing up an old site. It feels like a fundamental reevaluation of Kedah's place. In our history, yes, but also its future potential as a global destination. It really highlights that intersection of heritage, economy, and, well, political will.
Absolutely. That RM100 million request for Sungai Batu, it's not just about old stones. It's an investment in a narrative about national identity, cultural pride, global appeal. Really makes us think, doesn't it? About how much we value our ancient past and critically how we choose to present that story to the rest of the world.
Yeah, and it prompts that question too, if Sungai Batu is potentially this foundational site, what else might be out there? What other hidden histories are waiting across Malaysia, and how could they change how we see ourselves?
It's a fascinating prospect. The potential impact is huge.
We hope this gave you some perspective on the ongoing discussions around Kedah's historical treasures and their future. Remember to like and subscribe for more videos like this.